Thanks. Adam Wisniewski, cook and coach from Breakfast, Life, and Dinner, is here today to give us some confidence in the kitchen. Good morning.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I brought some flowers.
Oh, how nice of you. So what are we going to do for this special day? What can we make?
Well, you know, it's about connections. It's about dessert in a lot of cases. A lot of people are doing chocolate, so I figured I would go a different direction and look at some non-chocolate desserts that you might consider for Valentine's treats.
Sure.
And so I like to go old school. I like to look through some of the texts, like, you know, the Bible and some of the older Babylonian and Greek and all these ancient civilizations.
We're talking like ancient cookbooks here.
So what we're looking at here is a honey and spice cake that, you know, when you have just a bottle of nutmeg and a bottle of cinnamon, that's a king's ransom in spices right there. In the old, you know, in the ancient world, if you stood in front of the spice aisle nowadays, you know, a pharaoh would pass out with envy because you just would never see that kind of collection of spices. So we have an amazing opportunity to try all these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a chance to really just smell these very simple things, just one by one. So that's nutmeg.
That's nutmeg.
It's got a little, you know, it's got a little sweetness to it already. It's got a little spice.
Of course, that's cinnamon.
And cinnamon, you know, cinnamon goes a long way in desserts. And you know, if you pair it with sweet things like natural honey, applesauce, walnuts, all of those has a certain sweetness. And we pile those things onto each other, you end up with a very delicious sweet dessert.
Very good. So these are common spices. All these ingredients are pretty common. Back in the day, I guess they would have been rare, and so that's what made them so valuable.
Right. So if you put together a honey cake for somebody, because in the old world, the honey, and I put out a little honey for you to try here, but if you want to try that, honey by itself might have been the sweetest thing that you ever encountered in your entire life, and not very much of it.
Way back in the day.
Right. So if you had a honey cake, you're pouring a lot of resources into something that you're trying to make into a very impressive dessert.
True.
Right? So you've got your spices, you've got your honey. So what we're going to do is we're going to grease and flour a pan. And so what that means is we're going to put some oil in there, and then we're going to knock the flour around so that it coats the inside of the pan to make sure that the cake will come out very easily. I'm going to get rid of some of that excess flour there.
Just a little bit much in there.
Very good. So then you got to make sure that that's nice. So we have a greased and floured pan. And then what we're going to do is we're going to line that. If you want to take the walnuts there, just pour the walnuts around on the inside there.
So we're just going to dump nuts all over the pan here.
Right, because that's going to be the top of the cake when it comes out of the pan. So there, we want to decorate. That's pretty good. And then I'm going to take some of that. You could take regular apples. You could take applesauce. And then I'm just going to kind of put some around on the top to make sure that that's moist on the top of the cake there. And that's where we're going to do our prep work for the cake itself.
So that's kind of what that looks like so far.
Right. And then, you know, you're going to make a standard spice cake. And what that's going to be is that's going to be oil and sugar. I'm going to whip that with some eggs. We're going to add some honey and some vanilla. And then our dry ingredients are going to include the leaveners like baking soda and baking powder. We've got the flour and sugar. We've got nutmeg, cinnamon, and a little allspice.
So that's your classic cake ingredients plus the spices.
Right. There you go. So I'm going to mix all that together. I'm going to put it in the pan, and I'm going to slow bake it because it's going to be very dense. It's going to be very moist. So I'm going to put it at 325 for an hour or 70 minutes. And then we're going to have a cake that comes out. It's going to be served best warm. It's going to be intensely sweet with the honey and the walnuts and the spices. And it's going to have a little bite to it with those spices. So, and then we'll take a look at some other desserts as well.
And so what makes this such a good dish to do on Valentine's Day?
Well, because it shows, you know, I don't know. For me, chocolates are easy. You know, you can go to the store, grab a bar of chocolate, boom, you're done. Or you can put some effort and some thought into it. And either way, I think, is showing that you care. So.
Very good. So coming up in the second segment in about half an hour, we'll see the finished product.
That's right. And a couple other desserts as well.
Very good. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back with more of The Morning Show right after this break.
Thanks, Adam. We're checking back in with Adam Wisniewski from Breakfast, Life, and Dinner. And who says Valentine's Day needs chocolate, right?
I say no. We can do lots of things that don't need chocolate. Chocolate is good. Not saying it's not. But,
not saying it's not.
But let's try something else this year.
Yeah, why not? So what did we make earlier?
So let's start off with a couple of other things.
All right,
what
let's do that.
What do you got in your hand there?
This is culinary lavender, and I took a big whiff, and it was, whoa.
It's pretty strong.
It's very potent.
Do you want to try the culinary lavender?
Sure.
I will tell you, it's got a little sour finish, but then it comes back to the lavender. So if you try this here, this is sweetened ricotta cheese. This is honey and ricotta cheese.
I'm supposed to eat the actual piece?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what's going to happen is you're going to experience the creaminess. Then you're going to hear the hit of the lavender.
Okay, yep, got the hit.
And then now it's going to start going a little sour on you.
All right, I'm not there yet.
Right? But if you bite into those, they have a little, and there's the sour, right? And then what happens when you hit the sour is you want another bite of the sweet, or you want to take a drink of the wine.
I want to take a drink of the wine.
Right, but so a nice white, a crisp white would go along with, and then the sour is going to fade, and it's going to come back to the lavender.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what's going on when you design a dessert dish. Is you want to know what's going to happen in the client's experience of the dish, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. So then we can do some other things. This one here is a pomegranate soaked strawberry.
Okay.
So with that, if you have a pomegranate, oh, that's right. We're supposed to move this out front.
Oops, sorry.
There you go. So pomegranate.
We totally had that conversation before the segment.
She told us to do that.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Sorry.
So pomegranate is so this is a pomegranate molasses that you can get locally at World Harvest. And so if you want to try one of those, that's strawberry, which is a wonderful dessert all by itself, a staple of chocolate fondues the world round.
Okay.
But the pomegranate tartness and the strawberry sweetness kind of play with each other as well.
So dip it in the pomegranate, is it pomegranate molasses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And so then you get a different set of sweet. And so pomegranate is one of those things that if you have not experienced it, definitely go out and find some. Yes.
I'm into that. That's good.
And that takes about 30 seconds to make, because you put some pomegranate molasses on some strawberries and let them sit around for a little bit. All right. And then the last one here on this plate, this is a cannoli stuffed strawberry.
This is where it's at.
Right. So this is sweetened ricotta cheese with a little bit of cinnamon, and then it's stuffed into a piece of strawberry. And if you want to try that one, I'll get our cake out of the oven.
Sure. I will gladly try that. And you've made these before, and these, I will say, I think are one of my favorites.
Right on.
Okay. And then you made a cake earlier too.
I did, and so I'm warming. This is last night's test cake, and I'm warming it in the oven. So you can see from the textured top, what we did was we decorated the bottom of the bundt cake with walnuts and applesauce.
Yum.
And then I took this cake and I baked it. It takes about 70 minutes to get it to solidify.
It smells great.
And then I soaked it in a honey butter.
What?
Yes, so it's a little decadent.
Okay, how did you, what do you mean by you soaked it in honey butter?
So I melted some honey, and I melted some butter into some honey, and then poured it all over the top as if I were dressing a salad.
Okay.
But there, you can see it's a nice moist cake, and I'm gonna put that piece there. It's a little warm. It's best served warm because it's dense and it's moist. And so if you want to try that one.
Sure, should I try a piece from the top?
Just grab that right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna try it too.
All right, let's dig in.
But so this is when you have this honey and the spices and the nuts and the apples, you got a bunch of different kinds of sweetness and tartness and spice, and all that comes together to make these ancient recipes, these simple recipes, these non-chocolate recipes that you can go in any direction you want on a special day like Valentine's Day.
The spice really comes through on that. I love it. It's really good.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's different. So that is what you're really all about, is gaining confidence in the kitchen. Why do you do what you do? I
just love trying new things for myself, and I love the look on people's faces when they realize that something that they really love is something that they can do themselves.
Yeah.
They can design a dish, or they can make pasta from scratch, or they can bake bread, or they can teach their kids to make scrambled eggs and pancakes. And just that wonderful experience, that expression on people's faces. I just live for that moment of joy.
And so you offer classes as well.
I do.
What sort of classes do you do you do for people in the area?
So the most common or the most popular request for adult classes is the sushi rolling class.
Yep.
But we do a lot of pork stuffed pork tenderloins. For kids, it's knife skills, basic skills. I do a lot of cake decorating classes.
Fun.
Yeah.
So really, whatever you want, you can do for them.
Yeah, you know, I tell people, I teach confidence, not perfection.
Yeah.
You know, there's pretty much nothing I can't try in the kitchen with you, so we'll give it a shot. But I've been cooking for 40 years, so I have a lot of experience. I'm really good with flavors, and I love doing things that, just make people's eyes widen up and say, I never thought of that and that and that. So
yeah, you can find Adam on Breakfast, Life, and Dinner on Facebook. You're really active on social media. If you're looking to take a class and gain some extra confidence in the kitchen, thanks so much for making us a little bit, of a difference.
Something special. Happy Valentine's Day.
I like it. Happy Valentine's Day, Adam.
Right.
We'll be right back with more of the morning show right after this.